Turkish Airlines presents Business Africa.
Welcome to Business Africa, where we highlight the innovations driving Africa's future. I'm your host, Afolake Oinloye. The top stories this week. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve across Africa, a new innovation is bridging the language gap for millions of non-English speakers. TikTok ban in the US, a threat to African entrepreneurs' global reach, with TikTok at risk, African businesses race to find new digital strategies. Ugandan innovator turns cowtails into durable shoe brushes, aiming to boost local industry and cut import costs. As the world gathers in Paris for the AI summit, exploring ways to unlock artificial intelligence's potential, a game-changing innovation is quietly evolving Africa. Luganda GPT is bridging the language gap for millions of non-English speakers, making digital content more accessible in indigenous languages.
Across Africa, hundreds of indigenous languages shape daily communication. And technology is now playing a crucial role in preserving and promoting these native tongues. One such initiative is Luganda GPT, an AI-powered platform that enables users to interact in their local languages.
If people don't understand the foreign language, and worst of all, the foreign language is not even close to native languages, it's harder for people to understand it. So what we're doing with the technology is leveraging AI in native languages, is you're bridging that language gap.
The platform currently supports Luganda, a Bantu language widely spoken in Uganda and the most spoken unofficial language in Rwanda's capital, Kigali. Kitaka plans to have more indigenous Ugandan languages added to the platform. But his vision also extends beyond borders. He aims to incorporate languages from across the continent and to make AI more accessible to non-English speakers.
You and I, for instance, we have smartphones and we know English. So we are plugged into the free flow of information on the internet. But people in the rural areas who don't know English have been left out. So suddenly, everything they are doing, they rely on the knowledge they've been inherited.
Through applications like Luganda GPT, pillars of local and regional culture like language are now being preserved differently.
To dive deeper into this development, I'm joined by Ambassador Philip Tigo, Kenya's Special Envoy for Technology. Welcome to the show, Ambassador. Now, what is the business potential for localized AI solutions like Luganda GPT?
Think about the continent, first of all, being small and medium enterprise-led on the instance. It means a majority of the market is really at the bottom of the pyramid. And so having local languages as the core to sort of these models, it means that businesses, in most cases, do not necessarily have to rely on in English. And the business model can be even from education. Because why does, for example, a peasant farmer or a small trader have to learn English to trade? We've been trading for 1,000 years, but all of a sudden English language comes in and all of a sudden it's a barrier. So I think the business potential is a lot. It means the market becomes more open. I can be in the US and I don't have to necessarily learn the language, but with these models, it means that you can translate a lot of these things in near real time.
What challenges and opportunities do you see for AI adoption across Africa?
The AI is concentrated amongst a few countries and a few companies. So there's already one challenge. Like, we are not in the AI conversation. So the first challenge is, how do we become included in the AI conversation? That's one. Two, there's an issue, of course, of infrastructure. So when I'm talking about AI infrastructure, I'm talking about data. So we still have issues around our data. I'm talking about talent. We still have challenges around talent in terms of our learning institutions producing the AI talent that is required, things like machine learning, or data scientists. We still are not producing enough, and there's a global talent war, so we can't even retain the talent even if we're training them. The third one, of course, is compute, and compute, as you know, right now is a precious resource. Very few companies are producing the GPUs. Only one country in Africa has compute, and that's Morocco. I think in terms of opportunities, and this is where I think Africa can win, is the use cases, the application of artificial intelligence. Other countries are still looking at vanity stuff where they self-driving cars, and I think those are their challenges. I think in the continent, we still have to understand our food and food systems. We have to understand genomics. We have to understand transport and mobility, because we still have terrains that do not have infrastructure around roads, rails. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity to use AI to solve these problems, and at the same time make businesses out of these problems, because each of these problems, in my view, is an economic opportunity.
How can international collaboration support AI development on the continent?
Previously, collaboration has been predatory. So I say Africa has not been, or the African continent has not been part of the race. I'm not saying we've not been part of it. We've just been part of the race, but from the wrong end of the spectrum. Because the value that is being created out of artificial intelligence does not stay in the continent, it goes elsewhere. And so I think we need to be able to sort of tilt the balance around the fairness around that. Secondly, all the green minerals that are building chips are coming from this continent. So I think there's an opportunity to build an entire AI value chain. I say this because I know only in the African continent do we have the entire AI value chains, from green minerals to the end use of that compute to the use case. And so the idea then must be, in the extent that the collaboration is to build not just capacity, because capacity also has been used unfairly previously, but to build capability and resilience of the African continent to be able to most benefit to the entire value chain.
Ambassador Thigo, thank you so much for those insights.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
As the U.S. contemplates a TikTok ban, African entrepreneurs could face significant disruptions. Many, like Amanda Okafor, founder of Belanomi, have leveraged TikTok's organic reach to grow their businesses. Now, these entrepreneurs are exploring new platforms to stay ahead in the digital landscape.
The potential US ban on TikTok is raising concerns among African entrepreneurs who rely on the platform. With its powerful algorithm, TikTok has enabled small businesses to connect with global audiences. If banned, African entrepreneurs selling to American consumers could face major disruptions. Amanda Okafor, founder of Belanomi, a beauty brand specialising in African skincare products, grew her business on TikTok, amassing nearly 100,000 followers since 2022.
I signed on early. When I signed on, I also signed up to a lot of the programs that they have. So like the affiliate marketing, where creators promote products and also get their own commission in there. So I signed on to that program. That really helped us grow and find a bigger audience.
The platform's organic engagement allowed her to scale without costly advertising. Experts believe the US ban could set a precedent, potentially emboldening African governments to impose similar restrictions. TikTok has already faced bans in countries like Senegal and Somalia. Despite the uncertainty, Okafor remains optimistic.
So right now what we're doing is just taking advantage of the other platforms that we have. So Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, we're also promoting on those platforms as well. The good thing about being on TikTok is that I was able to at least educate myself about how to market on social media. So that knowledge that I got, thanks to the resources that they had for us sellers, I can also take that same knowledge and apply it to other platforms.
The debate over TikTok's future in the US is still unfolding, but its impact on African businesses is undeniable. Entrepreneurs are now focused on diversifying strategies to ensure long-term success beyond TikTok.
Uganda's merchandise trade deficit exceeded $300 million, according to the country's central bank, in August 2024. But one innovator is leading the charge for import substitution in the country's footwear industry by transforming Cowtail into durable shoe brushes. Our correspondent has this report.
Shoe brushes are commonly essential for maintaining footwear. Except these everyday tools here are unique. They are made from cowtail hair.
This started with a challenge from a street shoe shiner who challenged me that actually in Uganda there was no person who could make a quality brush similar to the one that he was using. Then those brushes were coming from abroad But as a person who had a background in engineering, I decided to take on that challenge and I made a Yuga brush.
But Enoch and his team of 13 create the Yuga brush from 100% locally sourced materials. Since 2019, Enoch's team has produced about 100,000 pieces. It costs 60 US cents to make one brush, and the market price is $2.
These cowtails are a vital resource. From one sizable tail, the team here can extract hair, which is just enough to make 3 small brushes.
With readily available cowtails, this workshop can produce 15,000 brushes weekly. Enoch hopes that, with funding support, he'll add more machinery and thereby grow his venture tenfold to $2 million by 2030.
That brings us to the end of this edition of Business Africa. Thank you for joining us. For more business stories and the latest updates, stay tuned to Africa News or visit us online at africanews.com. Bye for now.
Business Africa was presented by Turkish Airlines.